All righty, folks, welcome back. Happy Tuesday. We may not be hearing much from Senator Elizabeth Warren in the next coming days, Pocahontas, especially after Trump smacked her with this one.
And she's a fake. Just like she said she was an Indian, and she wasn't an Indian. You have more Indian blood in you than she has. She went to college based on the fact that she was an Indian. She got jobs based on the fact that she was an Indian. She's a fake. That was set up to destroy some very good people, and it worked. I mean, it worked. A lot of great people. I'll tell you, before I ever heard the term, people would come up to me in the Midwest and areas that say, "Sir, I'm being destroyed by them." They use that to destroy people. She's a nasty woman. She's a really nasty woman. Despite her phony beer commercial.
You got to love that. Trump talking about a U.S. Senator. I love it, Pocahontas. We got a lot more to discuss. So as always, let's react. So listen to this insanity. There are federal employees who get paid by we the people who hate this country enough to actually give violent alien gangs a heads up before ICE, Border Patrol and ICE come to kick them out. That's right. Someone allegedly within the FBI told Trinidad del Agua that ICE was on their way towards them. And Tom Homan, whoa, don't F with Tom Homan. F around and find out with Tom Homan. Listen.
What is Tom Homan? Tom, where are these leaks coming from?
Well, look, we think it's coming from inside. And we know the first leak of Aurora is under current investigation. We think we identified that person under investigation right now. The California leak, Secretary Noem, she's correct. Some of the information we're receiving tends to lead toward the FBI. But I talked to the Deputy Attorney General all this weekend. They've opened up a criminal investigation. And they have promised that not only this person lose their job and lose their pension, they're going to go to jail. They're going to criminally prosecute. So we're all over it.
I don't know about you, but I'm glad Tom Homan is in that job. I want to move on to this other lunatic and now former USAID employee who took a few questions but felt incomplete and weird without her mask on.
Really terrible thing that's happening, and that we have to do something about it right now.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Have a great day.
Yeah. I know this is so stupid to have my mask off, but it just seems so ridiculous not to have it on. What is it? Where is it? I know it's AP, but
She thinks it's ridiculous not to have her mask on. It's weird to have a mask on, you clown. It's 2025. The brainwashed, deranged corporate Democrats still feel ridiculous without their masks on outside. That interview is held outside. What the hell is wrong with these people? They're nuts. They're losing their collective minds. Oh my God! Anytime I see someone with a mask on outside right now, I think you liberal, you are so freaking liberal. You must be just crazy, Trump. I got to find my Trump hat and put it right on, MAGA hat. Here's something that you can only find on a network named MSDNC or MSNBC, a white dude fear-mongering about Trump's impact on the black sector of our population.
The federal workforce is the largest employer in the nation, and federal data shows that black Americans who have historically found greater equity in the public sector compared to the private sector will disproportionately bear the brunt of Trump's effort to gut the federal workforce.
Unbelievable. This white apologist. I mean, have you learned anything in the last 2 months? The American people said it's enough. DEI is bullshit. Gender politics aren't working. Identity politics aren't working. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It's who's the most qualified for the job. I can't imagine why people are still giving this guy a platform. Dylan Mulvaney's hairdresser. Now, Dylan Mulvaney is the dude that walked around like a woman, and Bud Light decided to give Dylan an ad campaign, and it tanked the Anheuser-Busch company to the tune of $30 billion in a year. It may have been more, even closer to $50 billion when the dust settled, because they gave one weirdo trans freak an ad to the beer that people like to watch during football games. Good job, Anheuser-Busch. Anyway, that dude's hairdresser, that freak paraded around the Golden Globes with a full beard and a long dress. Well, he found his way onto MSNBC as the network continues to try and make people hate Trump.
About this a lot. The first is to everybody in the United States, and you taught me this when I was 5 in 1992. If we want to be somebody and if we want to go somewhere, we really need to wake up and pay attention. I thought about this last night. I was like, has anyone ever said we need to put the unity back in community?
Yes.
Because I think really on the left, it just with the LGBTQIA plus community, we need to stick together. And we have decades and decades of experience having done this.
A couple things here. Dude, full beard. Does the lisp have to happen? I mean, if it's physical, it's a lisp. I get a lot of people have lisps, but it seems like that's an add-on to make sure people realize that you're a dude because you look like a dude, but you're trying to be a girl. I mean, I'm guessing. Don't call me an LGBTQA plus. Lesbian, gay, bi, trans, queer, A? Someone help me out here? Control them. Can you help me out what the A is? LGBTQ, A? Oh, asexual, they're telling me. Asexual. They're going to protect asexuals as well, right? Not only the old weirdo freak. And the plus, anybody? Is there more? Any more? A plus? I mean, I don't know. No idea, folks. All I know is Trump's right. There's a man and there's a woman, and that's what the government recognizes. Okay, so what is this? This is a truth bomb, by the way. Truth bomb. What is this? A Clinton denying her own involvement in the corrupt Clinton machine. Say it ain't so. After Elon Musk uncovered $84 million going to Chelsea Clinton's foundation, much of its whereabouts are unaccounted for. Chelsea, likely under her two-term presidential run, loser's mom's counsel. Well, she put out the following statement. Chelsea Clinton, again, this is the daughter of Bill and Hillary Clinton, says, quote, lies and conspiracies about my family and me are nothing new. Facts. I'm proud of the Clinton Foundation. The work has helped tens of millions of people. Misinformation isn't just noise. It's a weapon. There it goes again. Misinformation. They love that word, misinformation. Democrats love it because whenever truth is coming out about them, and it's very inconvenient, to say the least, they say misinformation. You can't deny it because it's true. Those are facts. Lies and conspiracies about my family, she says, like how your mom spied on the Trump campaign, how the FBI illegally, we now find out, illegally go to the FISA court 28 times, and they knew it. They were breaking the law at the FISA court, the FBI, and that was at the direction of Hillary Clinton. And you know who else, folks? You know who's with Hillary Clinton in that whole FISA court bullshit? You know who else was together with that? Hillary Clinton and John McCain, all to stop Trump in 2016. Well, Hillary Clinton spread the bullshit Russian collusion narrative, remember?
What difference at this point does it make?
Well, that was Hillary in the Benghazi hearing saying, what difference at this point does it make that 4 Americans died? Well, apparently no difference to the corrupt Clinton organization. But the fact is, any foundation with the Clinton name in front of it is most likely tied to corruption on every level. Hundreds of millions of dollars are still being looked for that the Clinton Foundation took in to help Haiti and that massive earthquake. Gone. Can't figure out where it is. I don't know. Hillary's got those nice new blue pantsuits. Bill's got a nice new suit to look for chase Monica Lewinsky around bedrooms, I guess. Truth bomb, folks. All righty, folks. So FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Association Administration, FEMA, well, we give them money, and they're supposed to take care of people, Americans, in time of need, right? Emergencies, natural disasters, earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes. FEMA money went to get this illegal immigrants. It really, really did. The Biden administration put the needs of invaders above the needs of actual citizens, Americans, dealing with floods and storms. That's right, can't make this stuff up. 4 FEMA employees are being fired today for spending $59 million in taxpayer money for lavish hotels for illegal invaders. I'm old enough to remember when they told us back in October that was misinformation. We were all lying. Listen.
Former President Trump is accusing the Biden administration of using FEMA funding to support undocumented migrants. How is the White House responding to that?
I mean, it's just categorically false. It is not true. It is a false statement. And look, the fact of the matter is, I think Washington Post fact checker did a piece, and the headline recently, just moments ago, not too long ago, and the headline was, "No, Biden did not take FEMA relief money to use on migrants, but Trump did."
Uh-oh, the Washington Post fact checker did a piece. Well, must be true then. Everyone believes the publication so bought out by Democrats that when its owner, Jeff Bezos, demanded more diversity of opinion by its editorial board, meaning they were so far left, Bezos wanted a little bit of Trump accountability on the editorial board. Many of them actually resigned from the board. Millions dropped their subscriptions to the Washington Post. The Washington Post, whose writers and subscribers went ballistic because Bezos refused to allow the Post to endorse either candidate, which they've never endorsed a Republican in the last 60 years. So is it that the Washington Post she's referring to, is that the same one? Isn't it all embarrassing for this party to be repeatedly owned for their lies and yet continue to double and triple down on those lies anyway? Let's get into it. In case it wasn't already clear, turns out that Karine Jean-Pierre, or KJP, which is how we refer to the worst press secretary of all time, working on behalf of the worst president of all time, well, KJP lied repeatedly at White House briefings, denying that FEMA money was going to house and help illegal aliens. Well, you don't say. Say it ain't so. Well, they said it was crazy of us to say so, or think so even. They also said that President Trump and MAGA were spreading, quote, dangerous misinformation.
It is bad there, but my question is about the misinformation, particularly the notion that they are moving money to migrants, to, you say, undocumented migrants, which FEMA says flatly is not true. And if people are not getting correct information, then they can't go for assistance.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Dana Bash. I'm so sorry, Dana Bash. The news says it's not true. Well, guess what? Whoever your sources are suck. And what assistance, Dana? It wasn't until President Trump came into the office, the Oval Office, that anything actually started happening for real. And they insisted, the Biden clown posse and legacy media that was covering for them, they owned insistently, that was absolutely categorically not true that FEMA money went to fund illegal immigrants, except there's this. What's this headline? Well, let's have a little looky here. Department of Homeland Security announces $380 million in additional funding to communities receiving migrants. $380 million extra money. Okay. But wait, there's more. Where's the link to FEMA, though? Quote, today, the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, through the Federal Emergency Management Association Agency, FEMA, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, announced the allocation of over $380 million through the Shelter and Services Program, SSP. So it's crazy. It's crazy that these folks deny it. It's almost as if we got the information from their own headlines that they put out with the actual information. Are they kidding us? How about one more? Quote, FEMA awards $110 million to the emergency food and shelter programs to assist, wait for it, migrants. FEMA awards to migrants. It's so crazy how reading those words actually feels now when they say we were giving disinformation. Dana Bash to Lara Trump. Politico. New York City to get $104.6 million from FEMA for asylum seekers. Politico. Knock, knock. Oh, hey, Politico. The one that received millions from USAID, that you? Quoting, New York City to get $104.6 million from FEMA for asylum seekers. The city's allocation through the new federal Shelter and Services Program constitutes around 30% of the money announced Wednesday and is much larger than payments to other cities. Oh, other cities got some of your money too for their own invaders. Isn't that nice for them? Let me guess. I'm going to guess, I don't know, San Francisco, LA, Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, other sanctuary cities that housed illegals were getting FEMA money. And when a hurricane ravaged North Carolina, FEMA said they didn't have any money left. They said they have $750. Good luck. California, $770. Wildfires. They told us there was no more money for Americans in East Palestine, Ohio, when deadly fumes were blasting over that city, American city. They told us there was no more money for Americans in Western North Carolina. But FEMA had an extra $1 billion to spend on illegals. Day after day, Elon Musk and his crew are uncovering more of their BS, which brings me to big balls.
Take a deep breath for just a moment and ponder big balls.
The left collectively is freaking out over big balls, mostly because none of them have anything to speak of those balls, but whatever, I digress. But here's a montage of them having a collective meltdown over a 19 or so year old boy. He's a genius who's rocking their banana boat by working at DOGE and uncovering their corrupt BS.
Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with Musk and Big Balls.
Big Balls.
Big balls.
Big Balls, who worked for Elon Musk's so-called Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE.
In the one case of the Big Balls kid, a literal teenager.
Big Balls online, big balls here that Katie's talking about.
A 19-year-old that goes by the username Big Balls.
So that would be one way that we could refer to him.
Young computer whizzes, the aforementioned Big Balls.
Because who among us doesn't feel better about big balls in charge of American air traffic control?
I don't know about you, but just watching Anderson Cooper and Rachel Maddow say big balls just cracks me up. I love it. This is the best thing Elon's ever done. Big balls has become the left's new Russia collusion or Russia disinformation or Russia misinformation. Take your pick. Big balls is an Elon Musk protege who's helping Musk with his DOGE activities of uncovering the Democrat corrupt machine, the spending spree they are doing with our tax dollars. He now works at the State Department and has more security clearance than Joe Biden does. Is that amazing? A 19-year-old big balls has more security clearance than Joe Biden. It's brilliant. Trump's amazing. Which is to say that Joe now has none after President Trump took it away from him because he's too incapacitated. By the way, he was incapacitated 4.5 years ago. But anyway, Rachel ain't having it.
Edward, that fired intern, is now older and wiser. He's now 19 years old. And he now works for the president's top campaign donor. And in that capacity, 19-year-old Edward is now a, quote, senior advisor at the U.S. State Department, where he now has been given access to all of the IT and data management functions for the country's entire diplomatic operation in every country on earth.
Okay, now how about you do Joe Biden, who had onset dementia for 4 years, while they all those people right there lied to us. How about now Hillary Clinton, who had classified emails on her private server in the bathroom of her house in New York, and then wiped them all clean. Not wiped, but they bleached them, which isn't actually bleach. It's actually a way to do it technology-wise. But was never held accountable. How come she wasn't held accountable? They didn't go after her. Democrats say that the 19-year-old Big Balls has no clue. He's too young to know anything, and yet they allow Greta Thunberg to dictate their entire climate change policy. She was 13 years old, and they made her some sort of icon, their beacon, their foremost scientist on the climate hoax.
We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
How dare you, Greta? Don't worry, guys. Greta's busy defending terrorists now because climate change is so 2018. Elon Musk has barely scratched the surface, and already the socialists and other swamp denizens are howling like swine. I wonder how they act with a paper cut.
We're 3 weeks into the second Trump presidency, 3 weeks, and tonight there are warnings that the U.S. is dangerously close to a constitutional crisis. The Trump Justice Department says the president should have the authority to decide how to run the government and that these judges are overreaching. And some of the president's allies say the judges should not be judging any of the moves to shrink the federal government.
Do you notice how Caitlin Collins isn't at all concerned with the fact that our tax dollars went to fund transgender surgeries for hyenas in Guam? Not a real thing, but isn't far off from the truth. Some of the other things they're spending our money on. There's an unexpected hilarity in watching the fiscal crack addicts who put $37 trillion on Americans' credit card debt, fighting feverishly to keep that spending intact now. Makes them throw out phrases like government overreach, constitutional crisis, as if their side didn't send in a team of politicized agents to search through our First Lady's intimate closets. I would say spare me the drama, but me loves the drama far too much. Well, the era of mandated paper straws has ended. Only plastic straws in America's golden era, right, Mr. Trump?
We're going back to plastic straws. These things don't work. I've had them many times, and on occasion they break, they explode. If something's hot, they don't last very long, like a matter of minutes, sometimes a matter of seconds. And I don't think that plastic's going to affect a shark very much as they're munching their way through the ocean.
Munching their way through the ocean, man. I missed having this man sitting in the Oval Office. But that in plastic straw in your drink, and drink it, Greta Thunberg. How dare he?